Last time on the Incorrigible Party, Opal's attempts at investigative work proved misguided when speaking to the city guards about the parade attack. The party enjoyed the pleasure side of the buyer's market where, to Kylia's surprise, they ran into Zalmo, who tasked them with ridding the Denizen district of the Trinity gang attempting to move in. Kylia, in the next day or so after the parade and incident at Founders Day, you've been given some additional information about your task that Zalmo has given the party. So you're told that the Borlo orphanage in the Denizen district has been having some trouble with the Trinity members by a group of Trinity members led by a thug named Brick. Zalmo tells you that this place is extremely important to him and that it should be made very clear that it is off limits to the Trinity.
We would definitely share that information with the party.
Okay, so you're gonna like sending stone around because you all have connected sending stones basically. You're like, Kylia, yours goes to Opal, right?
Opal.
Opal has another one that goes to Rumpke, and Rumpke has another one that goes to Hellcrux. So via this telephone, Emily, you whisper to Opal, to Helena, and Opal can then whisper what she heard to Rumpke, and we'll see what Hellcrux gets at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time it gets to Hellcrux, this guy's named Stone.
This is the telephone game.
So Rumpke and Hellcrux, that you've been given this kind of extra information, and you two, when you had parted party, you had said, you wanted to spend the next couple days trying to see if you could glean some additional information about what's going on with the Trinity, kind of, in the Denizen. And there's obviously extra information that the two of you would have about the Trinity, specifically because of your past interactions with them. Rumpke obviously being like wholly familiar with what goes on, in and around the Correlers exhibition. You're there. Obviously, you're there all the time, essentially. Like, that the Trinity basically calls that district theirs, essentially. Like, that's what they claim as their territory. It's very often you will see people that walking around that somewhere, like on their person, usually they like the members keep it fairly visible, but they have like the filled in triangular tattoo that demarks them as a member of the Trinity. Hellcrux, of course, is familiar with the Trinity from the decade he spent in prison. I mean, whether, it even though it was a very long time ago, we're coming up on 15 years ago since you really had anything to do with them, you definitely knew at the time, like Stormgate Prison essentially served as a revolving door for Trinity members. So what do you two thinking you want to be doing kind of some of this downtime that we have to try to get a bit of more information?
I mean, he knows the Denizen fairly well, given that Lehan Carriage Services is basically right outside it. He would probably spend part of the couple days just wandering the streets, and then right beside that district is the Correlers exhibition where there's a couple bars. He would maybe pop into them for a bit of time here and there, grab a few ales. If there's anyone he recognizes he's maybe on good terms with, strike up a conversation with them, see if they know much about what's going on with the Trinity gang recently, and just, kind of listen to hear if he overhears anything. Might also be worth checking out the local city newspapers, they have their base of operations within the Denizen district. See if they have any rumors or any stories they've been working on or that they've put out recently about the Trinity gang.
Okay, so yes, you are correct. One of the city's two newspaper outlets is based in the Denizen. It's called the Middling Machination. So would you like to pick up their latest issue then?
Yeah, absolutely. Feel like that's a couple of coins well spent.
You know that the Middling Machination is essentially like the conspiracy theorist type of like tabloid rag, right? So there's the Middling Machination and there's the Storm's Herald. The Storm's Herald is like the gold standard of journalism, is what they hold themselves up to be.
The Times, yes.
Exactly. The Middling Machination, is like, again, filled with like city conspiracies and myths and stuff. Both outlets put out an issue like twice monthly, usually at the middle and the end of the month. So you're kind of catching like the end of last month's issue, basically, right? The front page on this issue, the headline article, "The Headless Hedge." And the article continues to read, "On the streets of Stormcape, sometime in the month of Marla, another victim was claimed by the late-night lopper. Strictly vetted sources confirmed the victim's identity to be one Drill Iron Scraper, owner-operator of the Iron Scraper. Sources further recounted a pursuit of the culprit by city guard, leading to the tireless hedge maze. It was here our city's brave protectors encountered a most horrid sight, countless severed heads arranged for some kind of planting ritual. A ritual that had already been completed. City officials valiantly squared off against a wickedly gnarled tree bearing fruit in the form of severed heads." Article written by Teddy Hillside. So, you're flipping through this kind of issue, and obviously, like, this incident, familiar to you because you and the rest of the party experienced this, just over a month ago. Obviously, this article has no mention of the four of you. It simply only mentions, the city guard kind of intervening in this incident. But the rest of this month's issue doesn't have anything. Again, the issue came out pre-Founders Day, so of course it's not going to have anything concerning Founders Day specifically. But also, you're kind of looking for, mention of the Trinity gang, and this issue doesn't have anything that you're looking for, basically.
Okay, so I think Hellcruck probably chuckles to himself a little bit, thinking back on his prior experience and the fact that the city guard really weren't all that helpful at all. But so yeah, unfortunately, not too much information there. He would maybe, slide an extra coin to whoever's working at the front desk and see if he could maybe get a little bit of advanced sneak peek at what might be some stories that are brewing up for the next month's thing. And then if he doesn't have much success there, he'll focus his efforts more on just kind of prowling the streets, looking in alleyways for anyone who might be able to share a bit of information for some coin, and the same thing with the bars over in one district east.
Rumkey, what are you doing?
So I will, of course, head back to my little hovel and prepare myself for the fight the next day, go down to the gym, work out a little bit, then head over to the Bash and Clash, and on my way I'll probably use the Sending Stone to pick up what Opal sent me, so I have some information about this brick guy. I think what I do is I go in for the fight, and I look for somebody that I know that, frequents the Bash and Clash, that I know has that, triangular filled-in tattoo of, at least of days of old. I'd say I know a guy named Keith Carver who used to be part of the Trinity years ago, and walk up to him and talk to him before the fight. So I walk into the Bash and Clash because I know I've got a fight tonight with Russ the Bone Crusher Sanders. He's like a 6'5", big bulky guy, bald, and it's not looking good for me. The bets are going against me, but I'll go up and get a drink at the bar. Hey, you see Keith around?
The barkeep will point into Keith.
Hey, Keith! How you doing? I'll pop down off the stool, sort of work my way through the crowds, pushing people. How you doing, buddy?
Rumkey,
Hey, you got your money down for tonight's fight?
I'm betting on you. You better win.
Of course I will. I will. Hey, quick question for you. You know a guy named Brick?
Why do you ask?
Yeah, heard there's been a little trouble with the Trinity gang. Sort of heading over into the den. You know anything about that?
I might know a thing or two.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Here, and I hand him a gold piece. Put this on me. Keep the winnings yourself. Tell me what you know.
He kind of will, pull you to a little more private area. You getting mixed up with the Trinity, Rumkey?
No, I just, rumors, things I've heard, got a friend of a friend kind of thing.
Look, I'm back in. I'm back in with them.
No way, really? What, why would you do that?
It's a lot harder to get out than you think. I can't tell you anything, Rumpy. Look, I appreciate the coin. I might know somebody that is a little more brave than I am. Somebody that is out and has been out for years. They figured out how to stay out. I can talk to them and maybe arrange a meeting. See if they're willing to talk.
Hey, I need this to happen like tomorrow morning.
I mean, all right, I guess I can try to talk to them after your fight. You gonna stick around here?
Oh, I'll be here.
All right, look, this conversation never happened. Anytime we talk after, never happened.
Of course, you know me, Keith. Mum's a wood.
All right, can you roll me a D100, please?
64.
So you proceed to, as Keith kind of disappears, right? And then you kind of play out your night. You have your fight. I don't know if you win.
Yeah, I win. I win tonight. It's close. It's going to be close.
You're not gonna even roll for it? Come on.
I mean, if you want me to roll for it, I'd be happy to. Let's do that.
All right.
You want to do percentages?
If you say it's close, yeah, okay. I'm gonna give you what you've got the edge, 1 to 55, and you take the fight. You got a 55 chance of taking the fight. 55%.
It's 50.
Oh, there we go.
Well, there you go. Your edged out advantage kind of took the win for you.
Okay, I got a big bruised eye, sort of swollen up, where Russ got a good punch in on me. Bleeding a little bit out of the side of the mouth, but I'm walking out happy as he's laying on the ground. A lot of people are groaning because they bet against me, but I'm happy. I sort of went back. I sort of point at people that I know have bet on me. See, I told you so. I told you.
Okay, so if you stick around for another few hours or so, eventually Keith does show back up, and he does confirm that this contact of his will meet you tomorrow. Not tomorrow morning, though. It's going to be in dark, like cover of dark. But he tells you that if you are at nightfall, like as the sun's setting, behind the esoteric ostrich, that's where this guy will meet you.
You're good, pal, Keith. Here, and I pat him on the back, and I go, I'll see you around. I'll win some more money for you later.
Hey, be careful, Monkey. Like the Trinity's everywhere in these fights. If you piss them off, they're balls deep in them. Okay, just everything goes through them.
Yeah, you do the same, Keith. Being involved with those guys, in the group is not a safe place either.
Just keep your head down.
It's always about 3 foot lower than yours, buddy. I turn around and walk out the door.
The next day, are you communicating this information to anybody, or are you just going to go on your own?
So my sending stone goes to
Opal. And Hellcrook.
Oh, and Hellcrook. Okay. So yeah, I would tell both of them what I've learned, and I'd say, hey, it's sort of keep it on the down low, but I've got I'm not going to give all the names or anything. I'm just going to say I met with a guy at the bar. He's given me a contact. I'm going to get some information tomorrow night, and I'll let you know what I find out.
All counts as one of your words. Just be careful. You only got 25 words at a time.
I know some people. I'll find out more tomorrow night.
Isn't that the sending spell?
Sending stones cast the sending spell.
Yeah.
Do they?
You just can use it over and over again.
Yeah, he could just use it like a walkie-talkie, though. All right, I will relay that to Kylea, and I will say back to Rumpke.
Okay, be careful.
I hold my thumb up. She can't.
Yeah, I totally could tell. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to go by yourself then. You're not taking anybody else with you.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to, put anybody else in a bad situation, like Keith.
As you are at the meeting spot, right when you're supposed to be, as last vestiges of the sun finally set behind the horizon of the city, you see a light approaching you. Clearly a figure carrying a lantern that's turned down real low to cast minimal light. And this figure holding it looks like they're nearly 8 feet tall. They get this large hood and cloak, like the size of a tent, thrown over them, right, due to their size. They approach the meeting spot, and a familiar voice calls out to you, though, to the darkness. Rumpke, I'm here. And this figure pulls back their hood, revealing their face, and you know this person, this Goliath, is the barkeeper of the Iron Hammer Inn, Gilgroyd. He's just, kind of your typical, ashen skin Goliath, right? And he's got 2-inch wide tattoos, like strips of ink that kind of start, below where the collar of his cloak would be. And they go up the side, like up his cheeks, and then they finally come to points that taper to meet like the edges of his eyes, like the outside of both his eyes on either side of his face.
Gilgroy, what are you doing here?
I heard you're gonna be tangling with the Trinity.
Maybe. Tangling's a pretty, well, it might not be the right word, but what do you know?
I know this Brick character you're gonna tangle with is, he's dangerous, Monkey.
Yeah, I figured as much, but, why are they going to the den? What, are they just trying to expand their territory?
I've been out for a number of years, but the only way I stay out is by paying him off, so I have a contact. We've been friendly over the years. He keeps me up to speed on what's going on within the gang. They want more. They want more area. They want more recruits. They want the city.
Yeah, it's gonna start a little turf war here, if you know what I mean.
You're on the other side of this turf?
I'm in the middle. I'm not taking a side right now. I don't know why the Trinity just can't stay where they got their people, and they're just gonna cause a lot of trouble here, and it's gonna get really nasty.
I would do anything you can to get out of the middle of it. You're supposed to be on the straight and narrow. Work your way back into the Masons. What are you doing, Rumpke?
I know, man. I got it, Gil. I'm trying. I'm doing the fights. I'm getting there. But for now, I just gotta pick up some coin wherever I can, right? And this is part of it. But is there anybody, in the Trinity that might be able to be talked to, reasoned with, some way?
I mean, maybe my contact. I don't know how much sway they have. But I don't think you're going to be reasoning with Brick. He's definitely a killer. He's part of the reason I wanted to leave.
Can he be bought off?
Well, that's a possibility.
Money seems to talk.
You raise the funds to be able to do that?
Oh, they will be my funds, but the guy that's sort of questioning what's going on here, he might have access to some money, and if he can pay the Trinity gang off and they can stay where they're supposed to be, maybe that'll take care of the problem. If not, somebody's probably going to get hurt.
Just try and make sure it isn't you.
Hey, thanks, Gil. Got anything else?
People have been asking about you.
Oh, yeah? In a good way?
A little bit of both.
Yeah? Any news from the guild? Any, things settling down a bit, maybe?
You know they don't discuss that stuff with me. I just serve the drinks to you.
All right. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Look, outside of the Assemblers Row, you and I are just people.
Yeah. I'm with you. I sort of tap him on his back, like right above his belt where I can reach. All right, pal. Well, maybe someday we'll have a drink at the Hammer again, eh?
I hope soon.
All right. Be careful. I turn around and walk away.
By now, it's been about 3 days since the parade bombing, so the day's April 4th. And the Storm's Herald, again, one of the 2 newspaper outlets in the city, they've rushed an extra issue to print outside of their twice monthly releases. And picking this issue up, the front headline reads, "Failed Fatal Floats for Founders." Tragedy struck this past Founders Day. A coordinated attack on converging parade routes. Explosive devices simultaneously detonated around Orc Court, resulted in a death count of 25, with dozens more injured. Eyewitnesses place members of the local activist group, the Peaceable Patriots, along Orc Roadway West, assaulting float riders and city guards. This was an act of domestic terrorism, stated Captain Drake Lakely of the Storm Cape Guard. Due to the brave service and quick response of our guard force on scene, I am happy to report that no founders were harmed during this attack, Captain Drake continues. Any future activity organized or involving the Peaceable Patriots will be met with extreme prejudice. Due to the severity of the situation, no founder was immediately available for comment on the attack. Reports of an additional bombing hours after the initial attack have been confirmed. Attempting to follow up with an eyewitness outside of the buyer's market, Sergeant Vepper was caught in an explosion that placed him in critical condition. A confirmed connection to the attack on the parade routes has yet to be made, but it is highly likely related, says Captain Lakely. This article was penned by Julius Penfeld. And this is Storm's Herald issue number 7, volume 99, poll number 2580. Printed on Wedor, Aprala 4th. How a newspaper issuing works: the number issue is the number of paper in the year. The volume usually refers to the number of years that have been releasing. The whole number is the entirety of the issues released in the newspaper's history. So you can see that the Storm's Herald has been publishing for like a century. Okay, so you've all kind of gathered some information. Kylie has been told additional details. Have you all decided on a plan of action here, collectively? Butt up bumping back and forth to each other?
Yeah, I think we will have all relayed all the information to each other. It doesn't really give us any more guidance than what we've had previous, except for the name.
You know where you have to go, basically, right? The approximate area around the Borlo orphanage, which I assume would probably be one of the areas that, like, Hellcrook had been kind of walking around in the Denizen district, right, on over the past 1 to 3 days that he's been doing his own kind of investigation on by himself. So, I think Hellcrook, Bill, why don't you roll me a D100?
I think Opal would call Kylie.
Good thing you didn't pick up that orb. You think that's what blew up?
Probably. Oh.
That is a 98.
Over the time that you've spent walking up and down the streets just looking for kind of activity, and again with the knowledge of the Borlo orphanage being kind of the area which that Kylie had shared with everybody, like obviously that's a great starting point for you. After a day and a half of kind of this route that you've planned for yourself, up and down these streets, you definitely have noticed and seen, like, pass by people that sport the Trinity's tattoo. Notice a couple of people that would have it like on their exposed forearms, wearing short sleeves and that kind of thing. So definitely you've confirmed there are Trinity members like within a city block of the orphanage.
Are they any like word or rumors of them like causing a lot of trouble?
Are you just talking to people? Would you have been talking to people on the street? Are you already approaching the orphanage without the party, or like what kind of stuff? Like, are you just?
No, I would just be sort of like, if there's anybody who maybe like a vendor, I might walk up and pretend like I'm looking at their wares and start a little bit of chit-chatting. And
there are no vendors in the Denizen district. It is simply residential. So
I'm going door to door.
You would literally be canvassing door to door. Yeah?
No.
I am doing a survey.
Would you like to hear about my god and my gods?
Make sure you talk to Alka S.
I'm missing something. What's Alka S?
It's from the Dear Dorothy column of the newspaper.
The Storm's Herald does have an advice column called Dear Dorothy that people often will write into asking for advice. Yeah. So Bill, obviously, I mean, you're probably not going to be you're not going to be knocking on doors or anything, right?
No.
So, outside of like what you've been visually perceiving, you don't glean much more during your bit of downtime here.
Okay.
What are the four of you what do you want to do then? What, you gonna get together somewhere to hash things out?
I think I'd suggest we all meet at the orphanage around lunchtime the next day, just to go and find out what's going on, talk to some people at the orphanage if need be, and then decide how we're going to approach this brick person or some of the Trinity people, because we're gonna have to talk to them.
Can we decide and meet first? I think that's better. Like, not at the orphanage, somewhere else.
All right. What do you suggest?
Toggles and Sprockets, you live in the Denizen, like, Bash and Clash, whatever.
Come to my place. I'm in the Denizen. We're right there.
Because, I mean, if Hellcrook had relayed some information that, yeah, it's crawling with Trinity members, I think we should have a little plan before even just, like, approaching the place.
We'll meet outside of my place. You don't need to come into my place. It's a little rough.
Is he even big enough for the four of you to fit in it?
No, there's 4 bunk beds and 5 people. One of us hot bunk. There's 2 dwarves, so we share a bed.
Oh, I see.
Feet to feet.
Oh, feet to feet. Okay. Good to play. Beard to beard.
You're all together now.
Hey, as I was saying, this brick guy sounds pretty nasty. Hey, any chance that your buddy Zelmo might just pay these guys off to make them go away?
We could ask, but if Zalmo thought that was an option, we're pretty sure Zalmo would have done that.
Yeah, I figured, but it's worth asking, I guess.
So, apparently Brick can't be reasoned with?
I don't know. I've just heard he's a real nasty dude, and nasty dudes in the Trinity gang tend to not like to talk a lot. They like to punch a lot.
Well, I've been at home experimenting with some potions. Poison potions. Trying. I'm a little nervous because there's a lot of kids around. I don't want any mistakes to happen.
You thinking of poisoning Brick?
I don't know. Didn't you guys say that? Okay, anyway. Never mind.
I'm not up for any poisoning, and even if we kill Brick, there's just gonna be another one right behind him. This is a big gang.
How big?
It would send a message, though.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we should go try to find this Brick guy. Give him a talking to, and you got that concoction in your back pocket if things go really bad.
I didn't make it yet. I'm still learning.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought Zelmo needed this thing done like yesterday.
The sooner the better.
It's only been like 2 days.
Well, it does seem like we're biting off a lot to chew. Like that. I don't know if we want to jump to poisoning someone and upset this whole gang. And we're outnumbered.
We think upsetting the whole game is exactly what needs to be done.
It's the job.
Let's let this escalate a little bit at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look around, find a guy that's got a tattoo on him, and then we'll give him a talking to.
It's probably best not to directly confront these people.
When you say a talking to, what are you talking to?
Just ask him what he's doing here in the den. They got their place in the Corliss.
You think they'd tell us?
What if they say they're helping the orphans?
Let's just find out why they're here.
We're thinking we don't want them to know who we are when something does inevitably go wrong in their gang.
I'm confused on how we're gonna do this then.
So what you're saying is we try and sow fear and distrust and just chaos.
Or quickly take out the head.
Whoa. That was dark there, Seychelles. Who's the head?
Brick. With him gone, there's chaos.
Well, first thing we gotta do is find Brick. Best way to do that is find somebody who knows him. Like one of these guys.
Okay, so we ask about Brick, but we don't make any threats. Okay, Rumpke?
Yeah, nope, no threats from me.
Actually talk to them. Don't give them a talking to.
Look, I'll be on my best behavior.
Oh, hey, did you guys read the newspaper? Kylie and I almost died. They blew up, the buyer's market. Boom!
That was some time after we had left.
Yeah, but you were in the dumpster. Could have been you.
So much for keeping a low profile. You guys are in the paper?
No.
Wait, in the meddling?
I hope that nobody will recognize you who might have been around and saw you before it happened.
At the buyer's market, no one saw us.
Oh, that's good.
Well, Tender saw us. And Zelmo saw us.
Outside. No one saw us outside.
The mailman saw me.
Just you.
But a mailman? It's a holiday.
I know, isn't that suspicious? It's a holiday and they're delivering mail. How dare they?
Packages wait for no one.
I don't trust the mailman. Anyway.
We think we might be having a bad effect on you.
Me?
Yeah.
I'll be fine. I think. Okay, no talking to, but let's go talk to.
I'm just gonna look around for somebody that's clearly part of the Trinity, you know, you can see their tats or something.
Don't ask about Brick directly, but find out who he is. But don't mention his name.
Maybe say Rick.
We don't want anything to tie us back to this.
All right, you are approaching, so you're going to basically head towards the orphanage, trying to find a Trinity member.
Yes.
So I think Rumpke, you live like northeast of the slanted slipway, which cuts through the middle of Denizen, whereas obviously Borlo Orphanage is southwest of the slanted slipway. So you're traveling a lot of the district, essentially just cutting across it, right? And as I said before, the Denizen is strictly like residential. Unlike many of the other districts, the streets that you're walking down, aside from the slanted slipway, which is considered to be a major like highway or like slash road, right? These streets like aren't wide enough to get carriages down and through, like the majority of them, right? So they wouldn't typically be on like a route that you could hire a Lehan carriage to take you through, and just simply because they can't navigate the horses and the carriage and the wagons and stuff, right? That's like how densely packed this district is. And many of these buildings, the majority of them are 2+ stories, right? Between 2 to 4 stories is probably the average size of these houses. Predominantly in like blocks of rows, right? No more than 5 feet between them. It's very, very close. You said you're at like midday-ish, right? So it's not like you're creeping around at night. So obviously there's plenty of people out and about on the streets within the district itself, coming and going to wherever they may have business or whatever they're doing. So as you approach the orphanage, you're definitely, based off of some of the info and the routes that Hellcrook had been traveling and what he learned, you can certainly spot somebody sporting this filled in triangular tattoo.
Hey, there's one over there. Here, I'll go talk to him. So I sort of wander over, sort of looking around like I'm just walking around for the day, and I say to him, I go, hey, you're one of them Trinity guys. I point at his tattoo.
He like looks down, right? You're kind of like coming up behind him, right? He seems to be moving in a similar direction that the party is, right? Kind of looks over to you. The 4 of you, I suppose, right? Yeah, that's right. What's it to you?
Yeah, no biggie. You guys are usually over in the corridors. I don't see you over here very often. Of course, I've been seeing a lot more of you.
Oh, we're the Trinity. We go over wherever we want.
Are you helping out at the orphanage? Volunteering?
What do you know about the orphanage?
That you are by it?
So are you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go volunteer at the orphanage.
Good for you.
Thanks.
Hey, speaking of volunteering and such, you guys taking on any new recruits?
He like looks at you over, like sees like your bruises, right, and your wrapped hands and stuff. Yeah, I think we got room for someone like you.
How does a fella go about getting in?
Pretty easy, just get inked up.
Oh, I got plenty of ink. I don't even, is there a certain place you gotta put it? It's gotta be on your hand?
We'll find a spot. We like to keep it out in the open, so people like you could approach one of our members. Sign up.
It's gotta be more difficult to just get in a tat.
You gotta fit into the hierarchy. Look, I'll take you under my wing, okay? We kind of get a bit of a fighter's fee for getting new recruits anyways.
No. Listen, we don't even know your name. You're not getting any finder's fee off my friend.
What are you talking? He wants to, look, I'm Chip. He wants to join up. I'll introduce you to my boss. His name's Brick. We'll get you inked up, get you your orders. We'll get to it. The rest of you interested too?
I don't want to take orders from anyone but myself, thank you.
All right. He kind of turns to Kylie and Hellcrook. Huh?
We have enough people we take orders from already.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a pretty busy guy. I'm not sure I could fit it into my schedule, but thanks for the offer, though.
And of course, when Kylie, when Shaysal Jal said that, Kylie's mouth was not moving.
Oh, that's so creepy. I forgot.
Yeah, it's just confusing. He like looks around a little more and then, look, everyone but you, he points to Rumpke, he's wasting my time. If you're interested, let's go.
Well, before we go anywhere, what's the benefits? What's the perks?
Nice payday, You get the camaraderie of, working with the team. We get to get a little physical every once in a while, rough some people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like you're fighting type.
I can hold my own.
He likes to fight a lot.
Great. Little enforcement here and there. You can make a killing.
So we can go see this brick guy right now?
I mean, I'll take it right to him. Let's go.
All right, let me say goodbye to my friends. I'll be right with you. And I sort of walk with them 10 feet away or so. You think you guys could follow me without being seen?
Kylie will look at the other two and be like, "Oh, we could follow you without being seen.
I oiled my armor.
We could follow you."
All right, well, I don't plan on getting any more tats today, so once we find this brick guy, we got to figure out what we're going to do.
You know what? I know this area pretty well. Maybe I could split off and loop around the other way.
Where is Brick? Like, is he in the... If he's in the orphanage, I'll just, volunteer and be around.
I don't know. He's going to take me. He's going to take me to him. I'm going to turn him down, and then I'm going to get out. At least we'll know what he looks like, and then we can go from there.
Oh, but why don't you go with Hellcrock and we'll trail behind Rumpke?
Okay.
If you guys don't want to join, then just go someplace else. And I'll turn around and walk back to the guy. I tried to talk him into it. Come on, Chip. Take me to this brick guy.
Some people just aren't team players. Let's go, buddy.
I look at Hellcrock.
He's a performer. He knows how to put on a performance. You should see some of his fights sometimes.
All right, well, let's go down this side street here, Opal, and you just do what you're best at. Kylie, just stay out of sight.
We'll salute you and we'll be off behind a building.
Yeah, so Hellcrock will kind of venture off down a side alleyway. He's planning on looping around and sort of assuming that they're probably going towards the orphanage.
Okay, so your goal is basically to get to the orphanage and then from there figure out where you need to go?
I'm I'm hoping to just essentially go a block over.
Keep an eye.
Yeah, walk one street down and then look down the street, see if I see Rumpke and this guy also going kind of that direction and sort of follow them from a road over, if that makes sense.
Like looking for somebody at a grocery store?
Johnny asked. Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to look down each aisle to see if I see them.
Oh, man. That is literally one of our relationship's hard parts. I'm just too short.
You will be able to do that for a bit. Obviously, the way the den is tightly packed, not all the buildings are built uniformly. They're not the city, the streets aren't on any type of grid whatsoever.
The sending stones have beacons, though, so we're fine.
Well, you may be able to utilize them between the two of you and potentially Kylia, maybe, to get a better idea of the direction that you're heading. Yeah, okay, absolutely. You can definitely utilize them because this message you send needs to be spoken out loud, but the one you receive is mental, right? So,
yep.
On the receiving end, it's not actually making any noise. So absolutely, you can definitely utilize that. Okay, so Kylie, you're gonna be...
The but is in their head.
You're gonna be sneaking behind Rumpke and Chip.
Correct.
Keep me updated on your location.
Give me a stealth, Kylie.
18.
So Rumpke, Chip takes you... again, it is towards the orphanage. And Hellcrock and Opal, you are kind of like you say, a block over. You can peer between these 5-foot gaps. In some areas, it's more like maybe 3 feet. You would potentially have to turn sideways to get past between buildings, right? And you're catching glimpses of Chip, really, because Chip's kind of tall. He looks he actually kind of has a similar build to Hellcrock, a little leaner. He's got spiky blonde hair. He's wearing a short sleeve shirt, so that's how you kind of spotted his tattoo, right? So you can spot him kind of passing through these gaps and the crowds that are in the street too, right? A little tougher to see Rumpke because of his height, but Kylia successfully trailing behind, kind of weaving around and in and around the crowd. At some point, perhaps Hellcrock and Opal lose sight. Utilizing the sending stone between Opal and Kylia. Kylia is able to kind of look. No, we got to here, and instead of south towards the orphanage, we continued west. So Rumpke's being led basically past the where the orphanage is, which is in the direction like very close to the outer wall of the city that kind of borders a large part of the denizen of the district. Rumpke, you are led down again, kind of a row of houses in this area. There's like 3 or 4 in this specific spot, and there's what looks like a 3-story building on either side of it to the left and right, a 2-story building on either side, and then further west, which Chip stops you from moving forward. There's like another like 1-story building, and in this street, like the street itself is probably like 10 feet wide, right? Housing on either side of you. But in front of the 3-story one, Chip stops you. And you can see like the surrounding buildings, though. They look clearly like they're in disrepair. Many of the windows have been boarded up. They look like they could potentially be abandoned. In addition to this 3-story one, like the condition is very poor. Clearly nobody from the city or whoever may own these buildings or own them at one point has stopped the caretaking of them potentially for years. Look, you wait right here. I'll go inside, let the guys know I got some company. I'll get Brick.
Thanks, Chip.
So he disappears, for a few minutes. And why don't you give me a perception check, Rumpke?
6.
Down this little street, there's definitely less people walking the street. Certainly still a few pedestrians. You could hear some noise coming from within the 3-story building, but you can't really discern any, like if it's voices or if they're chatting about something specifically, you can't really discern what they may be talking about. Kylea, you have come, I mean, you can like find, a spot between 2 buildings to kind of like nestle in or hide in where you can still keep Rumpke visible.
Okay.
Hellcrock and Opal, how close are the 2 of you going to want it? Because, within a certain distance, you'll be giving me a stealth here as well.
I feel like Opal would be annoyingly so every 30 seconds, like, message back to me if you've moved. Like, message back to me if you've, like
Send me an update.
And then if she chooses not to, that's fine, because she's like, potentially they could hear or something, right? Like, there's not enough stealth. But if she, like, every 30 seconds updates where she's at, we kind of have maybe an idea. I know it's annoying, but it's efficient.
Is that right, Bill?
So, like, the guy goes inside and stays there for longer than 10 seconds. She's probably messaged me where she's at.
Oh, yeah. No, there's, like I said, the 2 of you keeping contact with Kylea, she's able to direct you from any, misturn. So you know where Rumpke is. Like, where on this street are you going to want to take a position? 60 feet away? Try to do something similar to that Kylea's doing and be more like 30 feet away, like within like a rounds of running distance kind of thing? Because obviously Chip has seen the 3 of you and he would recognize you, right, if he saw you again. So
Opal wouldn't want to get any closer. She's in scale mail. She knows her limits. She'd probably stay over 60 feet away at least. I don't know that I can pull off like having a place in this residential neighborhood, but we'll try.
Hellcrock, that was good.
Hellcrock isn't all that great at blending in either, so...
Rumpke, with your 6 perception, you have no idea if the party was able to keep up with you. You don't know where any of them are currently. So as far as you know, but from what you can perceive, you're currently on your own. So about 5 or so minutes pass, and then Chip comes back out the door. He like opens it up. Come on, buddy.
I go in. Follow. I look around. Is there like a lot of other, Trinity gang members sort of hanging around the outside of the door and stuff, like guarding this area?
Not outside. No, outside of the building, you haven't seen anybody else that looks like they would be a Trinity member. Again, very few pedestrians, right? Because like I said, some of these buildings look like they're just totally abandoned. So like people wouldn't be living there and have no reason to be coming and going from them, really. So it's kind of thinned out as far as blending in with crowds kind of thing. But outside of this building, no, it doesn't look like there's any gang members. You see, so there's a double door with a set of stairs, about 5 feet of stairs that lead up to it. On either side, about 10 feet from either side of this door, is like a window on the first floor. Similar placing window all the way up to the second floor and the third. Each of these front windows do look like they've been like covered or boarded up. You can kind of see a bit of light shining through the third floor windows up there, but the 2 stories below look like the windows are completely blocking any light that might be inside. But as Chip leads you in, he leads you into about this like 10 foot by this 20 foot by 20 foot space. On either side of you is a wall that runs further, like past this big set of stairs that lead to the second floor. Closed doors immediately to the right and left of you, and you can kind of see past the stairs. So as the staircase goes up, right, there's like a 5 foot hallway on either side that would lead further to the back of the house. You can kind of see, clearly there's like a fire going back there. You can hear the crackle of it. You definitely hear voices of people talking. You can smell like food being cooked as well. But Chip doesn't take you here. He will take you up the stairs to the second floor. At the top, the set of stairs, they lead like closer to the front of the building. And up here, there's like threadbare couches and furniture arranged. And then there's a round table with some stools around it. There's a number of weapons kind of laid out on it. You see one member of Trinity is sitting on one of these couches. Another guy is like sharpening these blades. Chip continues to take you up to the third story. But this is where the main staircase ends. He actually takes you to this kind of one of this corner and pulls down this like attic trap door. Think of like, the collapsing ladder that you would take up to an attic, right? And up to this third story where the 4 corners of this building, like the roof itself kind of steeple like is a peak, right? So you don't have to duck. Chip needs to duck at the top of this trapdoor, right? And you can kind of get into the center of this where Chip can stand upright. Typical, like you see the rafters and there's like no insulation up here, so you see like the other side of like the shingles of the roof, right? Immediately in front of you, you see like a big rug kind of laid out on to the right. In one corner, there's like food supplies and stuff. In the middle of this space is a desk with a chair, kind of sitting on top of another like green rug, and you see a figure is sitting at the desk. Further past that is a big double bed with an iron chest sitting in front of it, like at the foot of it, right? This person, the Chip goes, "Brick, here's the new recruit." This figure at the desk kind of stands up, and he's like just in like a robe, and he's got like a big scars kind of marring one side of his face. You see that on his forehead is where he sports his triangular tattoo. Oh wow! Very clearly displayed, right?
He's gonna regret that.
Right? Yeah. When he's retired, he's really gonna regret that one.
His face starts
never
to
get
sag.
the face tattoo.
Yeah.
Never a second interview.
He seems to be looking over some papers on his desk, right? He just kind of shuffles them up, kind of gives them a flips them over, right? So you see a blank side. Puts down the quill he was writing with, and he just kind of looks you over.
Yeah, you must be Brick. How you doing? I walk over, hold my hand out.
And you are? And he'll beat your shake.
Yeah, some people call me Tim.
Wow.
What?
Unusual name in these parts.
Yeah, my mom gave it to me.
That. You know what? I got my name from my mom too.
Yeah, we got something in common.
What a coincidence.
So, you looking to sign up then? That's what Chip says.
Yeah, I mean, I live here in the den. I've seen you guys around a little bit more recently. Figured, I don't want to get in any trouble with you guys, so why not join the club?
Perfect. Chip, I don't know, he filled you in on the initiation?
Well, sorta. I mean, he said it was a good club to be in. I gotta get a tat. You can see, no problem.
Well, the tattoo you get when you're an actual member. But, there's an initiation task you gotta undergo before we can let you in.
That's understandable. I get it. What kind of task you talking about?
You say you live here. You're probably familiar with, the Borlow orphanage.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Bunch of kids.
Yeah. Lots of kids. Look, it's run by this little old lady. She calls herself Granny Nanny.
Yeah?
She's been giving us some resistance.
Resistance to what?
Well, we're just simply wanting to give some of these kids a better life. We're trying to recruit them. They can come in handy. They got small hands, you know?
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah. She's reluctant. Apparently, the children are spoken for, she says. Some creep financially backing the orphanage.
Hey, Brick, I don't want to beat up no old ladies. I mean, you don't need me for that.
Well, then, if we don't need you, what are you here for?
Well, I was thinking of getting in a brawl. There's not much of a brawl with an old lady. I mean, boom, and she's down, right? I don't know if this might not be the club for me. I don't know.
It's what the old lady represents. All right? The people that she's backed by, those are the ones we gotta hit. You just convince her to take our payday instead of this other guy's. That's all you gotta do.
That sounds like an easy enough task. So, you guys setting up shop here in the den now?
Hey, that's the plan. We're gonna be your neighbors, whether you join us or not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, well, I mean, I hate to ask because Chip sort of told me, but, you know, when I get done with this task, which I will do very effectively, as you know, what do I get out of this deal?
What do you mean? You get membership, you get constant work, you get taken care of. Anybody messes with you, they're messing with the whole Trinity.
I mean, pay-wise, part of the reason I'm taking this gig is because, as you know, things are not too good out there. You know, economy and everything.
Oh, yeah, it's all performance-based.
Then there shouldn't be any problem. We're talking, pretty high standard of living for somebody who gets the job done?
I mean, look, I didn't choose to live in this place. But you should see the digs that I usually roll in.
I was hoping so. I mean, just checking out where we are here, it doesn't look, like you're doing too well. No offense.
Hey, you're the one that lives in this district.
All right, well, I appreciate your time. I'll get back with you.
Hey, I'll send Chip and a couple other guys with you. They can supervise, see how you perform.
Not necessary. It's an old lady. I got it. I'll take care of it myself. I'll show you what I can do.
Why don't you roll me persuasion?
So there's a pyramid scheme in this Trinity gang?
Mm-hmm. This is an MLM.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of water filters to sell.
16.
He kind of, mulls it over a second. He looks at Chip. What do you think, Chip? And Chip, you seem to have made a good impression on Chip. He just kind of nods. Yeah, I'll put my name to him. He'll do great. All right, Chip.
Thanks, Chip.
If it goes south, it's both your heads.
I won't let you down, Chip. Nothing to worry about. You can count on Tim.
All right, as quickly as possible. Look, I got people I look to that are expecting my success.
I won't let you down. I can show myself out. I sort of turn around and walk out the door. Or down the ladder.
Chip follows you down the ladder, of course. He'll kind of close the ladder back up behind you. And, you can walk out the door.
I'll walk out to the front, all the way out the front of the building, and I go, okay, Chip, I gotta run by the house, get a few things done, but I'm gonna go take care of this job. Say I'll meet you back here tomorrow sometime.
Hey, bright and early.
All right, catch you later, buddy. And then I sort of walk back to where we first met up with Chip, trying to find everybody.
We'll probably intercept you before you get that too far.
Yeah. So the way Hellcrook and Opal have gone, they're now behind Rumpke as Rumpke moves backwards, basically towards Kylea. So Kylea obviously sees Rumpke leave, Chip closing his door behind him as Rumpke says goodbye. You can all reconvene around the corner, right a block away, etc.
So I'll walk up to him and we'll try to get out of earshot of anybody around. Keep walking sort of back towards my place as we're walking. Well, I met him. It's Brick Guy.
Yeah?
Is he big?
He's a pretty big guy, yeah. But I can take him. I mean, get him in a ring.
Where's your triangle?
I'm not getting that yet. They gave me this task to go beat up old Granny Nanny down at the Barlow.
Granny Nanny!
Oh my gosh.
They won't let me in the club till I do that. I mean, imagine they're wanting to beat up some old lady. What they want is to give her the money, like Zelmo's giving her money, and sort of take over the business there.
Wait, Zelmo's paying the orphanage? Kylea.
We didn't know. He's probably just taking care of the children there.
He's all business.
Somebody has to take care of the children. Somebody has to pay for that.
They want to take care of the children the way Zelmo takes care of them, using their little fingers to take little things. I don't think we're going to get these guys out of here easy, but, I mean, far be it from me to offer up any suggestion of hurting anybody, but that guy's in a fire trap. If that house was to go up, I don't think he could get out.
Wouldn't also all of the houses around go up as well? Wouldn't the entire den go up?
Not the den. It'll just clean out that area. Maybe put some new stuff in. It's pretty crappy.
All right, Rumpke, we got a plan. You're our guy in. You gotta keep going and you gotta keep meeting with this guy because Granny Nanny's giving you a hard time. You gotta get some more information coming and going. You gotta see what he drinks, see what he eats. You gotta figure it out. And then, when I've perfected it, poison.
That's great. Can you do that by tomorrow morning early?
Maybe? There's a chance.
We need a new plan.
Yeah, Rumpke, you can't be beating up on an old lady. That's terrible.
No, I'm not gonna.
No, I know, but we're on a timeline here.
I mean, we have to do something. Poor Chip's gonna be in trouble tomorrow morning when this hasn't done.
Right.
The clock is ticking. We do not have time for this.
There's a lot of them. This isn't gonna go away just with one orphanage job. I don't... How many of you are there, Kylea? Like, with Zelmo?
We just need to put a hurting on them. Just scare them a bit and make them realize this is Zalmo's territory and they shouldn't be here.
I don't know.
That's what I was saying. Maybe light a fire on the building and see what happens.
Okay, let's go.
Why don't we just get someone at the, the meddling machination to kind of like publish an article about how the orphanage is haunted?
Can you make a bomb? There's already been several bombs.
No, there's too
We
many.
could. It'll just be disguised, and they'll just blame it on whoever did the other bombs, and it's perfect.
That's a great idea.
I've already spent like 8 hours doing poisons.
We're sure we can use that later, but we don't have time now. We should blow them up. We're liking this idea.
I feel like I was raised to believe that bombing people is wrong.
We're not bombing people, we're bombing a building.
So is beating up little old women. That is very wrong.
Yeah, he's not gonna do it.
I don't really like either of these options, really. What about if there's innocent people in some of the other houses that catch fire?
None of those guys in there are innocent.
No,
Exactly.
And the houses on the road beside it. You know, what if the fire spreads?
I can't even make a bomb. This is crazy.
Rumpke, can you make a bomb?
I don't know how to make a bomb. Hellcrook, you got anything? Lehan got any bomb-making equipment out in his barn or anything?
Shh, don't talk so loud.
We could maybe, we could stink him out.
There's lots of manure.
Yeah.
Or just Hellcrook could walk in there.
Okay, we put the manure in brown paper bags, and then we leave it on the porch on fire.
We don't think that's a strong enough message. We think it's gonna take a little more than a child's prank.
I say we slowly poison them. Slowly, so that they kind of lose their minds and hallucinate.
Again, Opal, we don't have time.
What about Zelmo? He's got to know somebody that has a bomb.
It is pronounced Zalmo.
Whatever.
No, Zelmo. Zelmo.
You know, speaking of, what exactly is going on with him and the orphanage? He's not stealing kids, is he?
He's paying for them to be taken care of.
Slave labor.
No, there's no slave labor. We don't know where you get these ideas.
He's got really bad allergies and needs all the handkerchiefs of all the dead bodies. Obviously.
Yes.
Well, I just hope that, his donations don't have any strings attached.
When is there anything that happens in this city with no strings attached?
Wait, Kylea, were you an orphan? How did you come to be with Zelmo?
Kylea's skin would pale even more than it typically is to more of a white color. That's a long story. We don't have time for that right now. We need to blow this brick up.
Saying that doesn't make it any easier.
We go asking around to see who's got a bomb. That might not work out well for us with what's been going on. We gotta make one ourselves.
Yeah, we don't want to give anybody any reason to suspect us for other things that have happened recently. That would be bad.
You know, we think Big Bob's been playing with stuff like that. He might be able to help us.
Who's that, you say?
Big Bob, he doesn't generally like us, but he may be willing to help knowing that it's what Zalma wants.
I don't like any of this.
Who's Big Bob?
He's one of the older kids that lives with us at the castle. We can talk to him.
Can I just go home and pretend I don't know about any of this?
Kylea will pat you on the head and kind of rub your shoulder. It's okay, we'll get through this.
Listen, I like being the hero. I like helping this doesn't feel like helping.
Think of how heroic you are being towards those children who aren't going to get sold into slavery and become Trinity gang members. They'll get to stay in the orphanage and potentially have a decent life.
You make a good point, Kylea. This Zelmo character seems to have looked after you pretty well.
You don't have any tattoos.
I wouldn't feel good about letting this gang steal these kids and turn them into, whatever they're going to do with them. It's not a good life.
So it's settled then. We go talk to this Bob guy.
Yeah, you think he can be discreet, I don't want him talking about us, inquiring about a bomb.
Oh, Big Bob knows how to keep his mouth shut.
Perfect.
Big Bob might have a big mouth.
No, Small Bob does. Small Bob doesn't know when to shut up. Big Bob is pretty good.
Big Bob, small mouth. Okay, got it.
Hey, where's this Big Bob at? Other side of town?
Big Bob's district is usually in the borough. He's usually around the temples there. We're sure we can find him there.
That sounds tops to me. Let's go. Well, how about that for an episode? You wanting more? I'm sure you do. I'm just the guy to tell you where to find it. Just type in incorrigibleparty.com in your favorite interweb searcher thingy, and bam, there you go. What's that? You want even more stuff to know about the world? Well, you can do that at World Anvil. Just go over to worldanvil.com/w/center-Leland Steel. And there's all kinds of stuff there. All you gotta do is get a free account. I bet you were wondering about the great tunes that were filling your ear holes while you were listening. Well, that was tabletop audio and Sarastro music. Great stuff. You want to make us feel good? Then join our Discord. Talk about all kinds of stuff there. Sometimes even the podcast. You got some spare change there burning a hole in your pocket? Well, then join our Patreon at patreon.com/incorrigibleparty. Head over there and see what kind of perks you get. But most of all, tell your friends. Tell the mailman. Tell that guy you met at the gym last week. Tell him how you went into your app thingy and gave us a 5-star review. Then more people can find us and enjoy the show too. Okay, now that I'm done being a shill, there's only one more thing to say. And that's happy adventuring.
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.